does it look?
Bauxite, zinc ore, a bit of iron, a little bit of copper. And about 500 people.
500 people?
Maybe they're refugees from a mining planet or something.
Ah, it looks like they noticed us. They're running for it.
Let's say hello, shall we?
Yes, ma'am.
Let's roll.
Yes, ma'am. Escape! Drop!
The time has come.
I see. I'll be there.
Professor, who was it you were speaking to just then?
No one you need to be concerned with.
Read all about it. Extra, get the news while it's still news.
Sure miss the old days. Every day we came eye to eye with danger. Nothing but our own grit and guts that got us out of trouble back then. Back in the days when we sailed across the seas. Now all we do is waste away on this frontier planet doing nothing but drink every day and retell our old stories.
Speak for yourself. You're nothing but a third-rate pirate anyway. I heard you saying that you're ready to pack it in and go back to Earth.
No, I didn't.
If we could go back, I'd sure go. Don't be ridiculous. Earth isn't the kind of planet where a human being wants to live anymore. The only people who live there now are sick or old and waiting for their time to die. Yeah, but when you get to my age, you start thinking, where do I want to be when I die? Well, I want to be on Earth.
You're just depressing. Zero, give me another.
Sure.
Not again. He drank so much booze he can't stand up. You thought you guys could take me? I'll go back someday. I'll get on that transport ship that leaves this dump every 6 months, and I'll go back to Earth.
Oh, yeah? And just where do you plan on getting the cash for that?
I got an idea. Let's go back to pirating.
That's a great idea. Everyone, cheers to more pirating!
Yeah!
And the rest with me.
Huh?
This is the exact moment Kei Yuki, the last of the space pirates, was arrested. Kei Yuki and 17 of her crewmen were taken to a nearby sheriff's space station and will be transferred to the Central Management Division as early as today.
Okay. Well, being a pirate sure ain't as acceptable as it used to be.
With the capture and the rest of Kei Yuki, the last remaining member still to be at large, it's now safe to proclaim that Herlock's crew has been officially disbanded.
Captain Herlock. There was a guy with that name a long time ago.
I know who you're talking about. It was all we could do to keep from peeing in our pants whenever we heard his name.
When we was out there traveling through space, we'd all hoped that we could make it through our lives without ever crossing his path. But hearing his name just now makes you kind of nostalgic, doesn't it?
Whatever happened to him?
That guy's gotta be dead by now.
And now these announcements.
Diva, wait!
Isn't it time for girls like you to be in bed? Just think what people will say if they see the daughter of the police chief hanging out with the likes of me.
Why are you being so reckless? It's as if you're intentionally trying to get yourself hurt.
Diva, you need to give us back what you made on our turf. You know, by messing with us, you're messing with someone a lot bigger.
Those guys, and the pathetic group of Yakuza that are behind them, they're nothing more than a bunch of two-bit half-assed losers. But I'm gonna...
Professor Diva is somewhere on this planet.
Correct. It is time for us to act. We will keep the promise we made with the professor.
But will the professor keep his to us? If he doesn't, then we simply have to kill him.
Hey, what's this? Check out the monitor. What the hell's going on?
Chief Elita, please come to the sheriff office observation room immediately. Repeat, please come to the sheriff office observation room immediately.
The demon of grand space has been revived.
What? What does that mean?
Humans have disturbed something that they should have left alone. Earth is in danger.
Earth is in danger? Is this some kind of joke?
Pull up planet Earth for me.
Yes, sir. Everything seems to be fine. Seventh solar system number K12 is showing unusually high energy levels.
Isn't that the planet of the rubbish heaps?
It's them.
Earth is in danger. What could that mean? The only people who live on that planet these days are the old and the infirm.
Demons. Evil spirits, devils, the undead. Though they may differ in name, every civilization has one, and an image to accompany it. They're images of a demon that rules space, far back into this grand galaxy's distant past.
And someone's awakened him?
Humans have extended way too far, and in doing so they have disturbed a sacred land that never should have been touched. And now they have awakened the ancient ruler.
Professor, I am your assistant, but you never tell me anything. What happened to you during that space expedition 5 years ago? And why were you the only one of the 5 scientists that survived? And, please, Professor, what is it you've been researching lately?
I believe my son's back home. I'll answer all your questions next time. I'm sorry, but there will be no next time, Miss Namino.
Tadashi, I've something to say. I know that for the past few years I haven't been much of a father to you, that I've been consumed by my own research, but today It hasn't bothered me and I don't care. You know, Tadashi, if a man believes in something, he must be willing to risk his life for it. As a scientist, I have given up everything I love just for the noble pursuit of wisdom, because that is what I believe in. If you wish to pursue the path of a true man, then you must listen. Shut up! What you believe in has nothing to do with me. Damn it! Tadashi! They're finally here.
That was easy.
Think about it. It's the difference between being a boy and a man.
What the hell are you guys?
This must be Professor Daiba's son.
We've come this far. We may as well kill him, too.
As of now, this man's existence remains a mystery to us.
We have accomplished what we came here for. Let us retreat for today.
Wait. Before you go, I would like to know your names.
These bodies are incapable of pronouncing our true names. As a substitute, you may call us Nu.
Nu, the name of the Lord of Shadows from antiquity.
She's dead. My dad is dead now.
Learn to treat those that have passed away, holding on to their beliefs with respect. That is what a real man does. If you want to become a real man, then come aboard my ship.
You know, there's a rumor going around. I heard that Herlock is somewhere on this planet. What the hell hell would Herlock be doing in a junk hole like this one?
I don't know, but someone said they saw him on the other side of the desert.
That's not a rumor, that's a lie. Herlock's dead.
Huh? What'd you just say? You saying I'm a liar?
Sure am.
Herlock! Yeah. There's no doubt about it. That's Herlock. You're right. It is Herlock.
So, you finally made it.
My friend has called on us to journey through space once again.
Yeah. I'd really like to go with you, Herlock.
Yeah, me too.
And so would I. I want to feel alive again.
My ship will never reject any of you. If you're up for this, you can find me in the forest of rubble.
That wasn't so hard, was it?
Get the hell out of here! Losers.
You okay?
I'm a pathetic excuse for a man.
We rounded up a group of barflies and squeezed his location out of him. We're gonna find out just how tough this space pirate is now that he's out of a crew to help back him up. For the sake of the department, I'm gonna catch him.
I'm counting on you, Onizuka. You're our last hope. I've worked hard to get here, and they're gonna promote me to the main office in just 2 more years. The last thing I need right now is an appearance from Captain Herlock and his crew.
He's through. And zootic disease. For him to have carried us this far in that condition. If I'd known he was this sick just a little bit earlier. So, what'll we do now? If we don't get out of here soon, the police are gonna catch us.
We'll walk. My friend is waiting. We're almost there.
So talk to me, Alita. Do you think you're capable of capturing Herlock?
I'm afraid this may be too much for the local police to handle.
You're talking about the police chief over at the planet of rubbish heaps. He's really come up through the ranks, hasn't he? Yes, sir. He's followed in my own footsteps. Then we need to make sure this incident doesn't tarnish his record. Don't fail me, Chief Alita.
Yes, sir.
I wonder what it is that's made him come back around now. I'm sure Captain Herlock still considers himself to be the enduring rebel. I'm sure. I brought in Kei Yuki, the space pirate.
Yes, the tomboy who chose to live her life running amok in space.
Who would think that someone like you, Chief Ilita, would resort to such cruel tactics? You use the lives of 500 refugees like they were just pawns in a game.
Those were inmates of this prison that we had dressed like refugees.
What did you say?
It was a mix of both felons and the mentally ill, sex offenders, rapists, and minors, lifetime criminals. All were ineligible for the death penalty for reasons beyond my control, but deserved death nonetheless.
I underestimated you, Ilita.
Yes, indeed you have. Now on to that man whom you care for. I believe that you'll be meeting up with him again very soon. I will execute all of you in one fell swoop.
Captain.
Huh? Mimi!
Welcome back, Doctor. Since you two were so late getting back, I thought I'd come pick you up. Saki!
You know, Tadashi, I know that for the past few years I haven't been much of a father to you, that I've been consumed by my own research, but today Is this?
This is the University for Galactic Comprehension.
Galactic Comprehension? That's the university that was created in virtual reality. What am I doing here?
The fact that you're here can only mean that the professor has passed away. Nice to meet you. My name is Shizuka Namino. I was your father's assistant.
The time has finally come for us to remove the seal and to rule space once again.
There are only a handful of select researchers that have been authorized to use this area, and Professor Daiba was one of them.
Here, my father was known as a sole survivor of an expedition that killed a group of scientists. And when he suddenly began to research the history of demons and evil spirits, he was treated like he was some sort of oddball eccentric.
This is the professor's personal research room. At the university, when a user of one of these rooms passes away, we have a member of the surviving family pick up any articles the user may have left behind. Those are the members of the space research team that didn't survive.
Why did they?
The professor would always say that humans have expanded too far, and that humans are the germs responsible for the turmoil that's found in space.
Have you heard of Nu?
I haven't.
While deciphering the characters and symbols found at the expedition site, my dad came across one name that couldn't be pronounced. It was the name of an old demon. The closest pronunciation is Nu.
Although I would ask, the professor refused to tell me anything that even remotely involved this aspect of his research.
I wonder why. My dad never would talk about his research with me either. The only reason I know about this is because I overheard him mumbling about it once. I guess for whatever reason, the name's stuck in my head.
You don't have much time left. Please, select the things you would like and take them back with you.
I don't know. I have no idea what I'd even do with all this stuff. You can have it all.
No, sorry, that can't be done. You should at least take this. The professor had asked for this to be given to you. When you leave here, it will transform into a microchip.
This sure does bring back some memories. Whoever would have thought she'd be content to hide out in the middle of a garbage dump?
For whatever reason, the Arcadia took a liking to this place.
What's that sound?
It's the music of those that have been left behind.
Ruins from ancient civilizations are abandoned here. They are removed from their planets to allow for more humans. And this is where they resonate.
So the forest of rubble became a dumping ground created by the developers, just because they didn't want to let the unearthing of relics from ancient civilizations get in the way of their job. Humans never learn, no matter how much time passes.
Let's drink. It's time to celebrate our reunion with our old friend, Dr. Zero.
As you can see, the police are now entering into the forest of rubble. The outlaw that once had people trembling from one end of space to the other, Captain Herlock, is now just moments away from being arrested.
Wow, look, warp footage of the Earth. Ah, the memories.
Back when the human race had become fat and lazy, the only ones who were willing to venture out into space were a small group of outlaws. They all laughed at us. As we left, they told us the dream we were chasing no longer exists. One friend stayed behind. He held out hope for Earth till the very end. He worked himself into the ground trying to pave a path for their future.
His tireless efforts took a toll on his body, and eventually he contracted a fatal illness.
Halfway through achieving his dream, it shattered. And for what? Whose sake did he die for?
It wasn't long after that people started getting off their lazy butts. And before you knew it, they had spread out into space following the path that we had paved for them. But they haven't changed. They're still after the same things. The people in politics, back then and today, are a pack of greedy pigs who think power answers everything.
Herlock, you look at Earth a lot more frequently these days.
They're here. What do you want to do, Captain? Should we head out into space now? It doesn't look like those guys from last night are going to be showing up here after all.
One of them will.
Huh?
We'll wait till then.
Well, I'll take this and be off then.
Tadashi. The professor believed technology's role is to help people live a much happier and a more fulfilling life. And so, right up until the very end, the research he did was to help mankind. I think that the professor was trying to send out a warning. And
I got you. I'll see you around. Take care of yourself, okay?
I have now done everything that I was asked to do, but I am left with this odd feeling I cannot describe. Back in the 21st century, a mathematician claimed to have proven that it was impossible for artificial intelligence to feel any emotion. So then what is this pain I feel in my heart? I'm sure that as everything around me disappears, it will disappear too. The feelings I had for the professor will soon be erased. Was I able to affect him in some way? Did my existence have any meaning at all? Professor,
Look, Tadashi. That bright blue planet over there is Earth. That's where all of us humans come from.
That's my home.
Yes, and that's where your mother rests. What are you doing here?
Well, I was worried about you, Daiba. It seems the entire city is in a panic. They're going to try and capture Herlock. It's on TV.
It doesn't appear to be. This just in. We have an official statement from the police. We will send in our troops at 4 o'clock exactly. It's the foot of Wakanda!
What does this mean?
Herlock! Herlock has just shown himself to the public.
surrounded. You aren't gonna escape this one. You're under arrest, Herlock.
I want to know one thing. Are you here because you're following the will of others, or are you here on your own will?
You think that there's no way that I choose to come, right? It's true that there are people out there who still quiver just at the sound of your name. But we no longer live in an era where the majority of humans are all cowards. I'll have you know that I, for one, came here not because I was told to, but because I wanted to.
I see. Then you must have been prepared for the worst. This flag stands for freedom, and I live for what it stands for. No one will stop me from living life on my terms. If you're gonna fire, do it now.
These bodies are incapable of pronouncing our true names. As a substitute, you may call us new.
It was like someone crawled inside me and tried to crush my heart.
What just happened?
Huh? Over there, look.
Earth has disintegrated.
Chief Alita! There's a call from the Prime Minister.
Chief Alita, get back here immediately.
What's the problem, sir?
It's the Earth. The planet has just vanished.
The Earth has vanished.
The Earth has disappeared from every piece of warp footage available.
I understand, sir, but my mission right now is to capture Herlock.
You can deal with outlaws like him later. I need you.
Learn to treat those that have passed away, holding on to their beliefs with respect. That is what a real man does. So if you want to become a real man, then come aboard my ship.
Nana, take care of my dad for me.
Daiba?
Miss K, think she's all right?
I'm sure she can handle it. Trust me.
So, new guys. I hope you were smart enough to bring an offering for the head inmate. You don't know. It's a tradition here for the new guys to make a little offering to the big guy. Believe me, you don't want to get him angry.
Well, what kind of offering should we give him then?
He likes these little things called plastic models.
Come on. So?
I have made arrangements for all feeds to show a stock image of the Earth.
Do you really think that is going to work? If anyone from the opposing party finds out that the Earth has just disappeared on us, it'll be a great big mess.
Warped communications between civilians is the issue. The government needs to monitor every line of communication and increase our control over them.
I hear ya. I'll put such a bill through right away.
Without total control of information, there can be no order in society. For them to support my proposals, it had to come to this.
Game over.
Earth. The thread that's holding society together right now is just an illusion, hoping to assure its people that all is well.
What does this mean? It doesn't make sense.
Hello, sir.
What's the matter?
We've just received an image of the ship that we believe is responsible for completely destroying the Earth. According to our observation crew on Pluto, it was this ship that emitted some form of an energy beam that had been aimed directly toward the planet. The ship's name is the Fata Morgana. It was used by a space expedition team that was involved in an accident. They perished in the Hourglass Nebula. That was 5 years ago. We found the ship floating in space and picked it up not much later.
And the problem is?
Last week, the corpses that had been stored at the development station came back to life. They took over the ship and escaped.
Corpses came back to life?
Yes, sir.
Give this information to the captain of the scaffold. I will be heading on out into the solar system immediately.
Yes, sir. So, Chief, what are we supposed to do about Herlock?
You take care of him. I'll leave you with a plan, not to worry. I'm not going to allow anybody or anything to disrupt order in space. Not a ship of dead men or some antiquated pirate.
Supposedly there was one guy who managed to survive that space expedition. I think his name was...
Professor Daiba. I remember. It must have been about 5 years ago that Herlock rescued the professor.
Rescued?
Our ship just happened to be traveling directly through the center of the Hourglass Nebula. We picked up a very faint sign of life, and when we got closer to it, it was a man on the verge of death floating in space. And that was Professor Daiba.
I had just touched the gates that lead to hell.
Soon he was well again. Then, the professor made me a promise and left the Arcadia. We hadn't had any contact with each other since, until yesterday.
The ruins are trying to tell us something.
The demon has been revived. Protect the seals that hold in the demon.
Where's Herlock?
I am Mime, a woman who sacrificed her life for Herlock.
Where can I find Herlock?
He has already been called on. Huh? He was needed by the ruins. Do you have a message for him?
No message. He said...
If you want to become a real man, come aboard my ship. That line got me, too.
Is this true?
Yeah, that's right.
Where would you like to go after you board this ship?
Where would I? I'm not... To Earth.
But the Earth no longer exists. The Earth has been erased from this universe.
Why?
Don't know. But according to data from the sheriff's station, it was this funny-looking spaceship that was responsible for destroying the Earth.
It's them. God damn it!
Ah, great. Just what we need, another hothead.
Herlock! Herlock! Herlock.
That was a being who had become kindred with Nu. I am the queen who protects this tomb, and that being was a man who in the past was my husband. Our civilization was destroyed over 100 million years ago by the curse of Nu.
Curse of Nu?
Though sealed away, Nu continues to secretly affect situations throughout the universe. Any civilization that reaches the pinnacle of glory will touch the curse of Nu, and then eventually fall to ruin.
Yes, but what exactly is Nu?
Nu is fear itself.
Explain.
When the universe first came into existence, during the time of chaos, when matter did not follow the laws of physics, it was Nu who ruled over everything. To imagine it would be to imagine a scene much like hell. Shadows and pain hovered overhead hauntingly. The only emotion that was given to those who were conscious was fear. Then, out of the shadows and chaos, the twisted rope, the first sign of order, was born. The twisted rope sealed Nu, the Lord of Shadows, inside the edge of the dimensions. Ever since, space has been able to move forward, flowing along through the annals of time. All of this occurred in just an instant, in less than 1/10 of a second after the universe had been created. But at the same time, it was an incident equal in importance to 500 billion years of existence.
So why has Nu returned, if he has already been sealed away?
Nu, to this day, continues to curse the universe from deep down within the edges of the dimensions, waiting for the time when he can break open the seal and return to controlling the universe. My civilization has descended from the twisted rope. We were given the wisdom of the rope, and have been protecting the seals that have been placed on Nu. But those seals are being destroyed throughout the galaxies by Earthlings. Be careful. Those that surrender to fear will become kindred with Nu. And once their obedience is sworn, they will willingly enslave themselves to Nu, betray their comrades, and lead their race to extinction. Like the man you just met, who was once my husband.
I'm coming aboard the ship.
Is it your choice to do so?
Yes, this is what I want to do.
Where would you like to go once you board the ship?
I don't know. But I have a purpose now. I'm gonna fight them, and I'm gonna avenge my father's death.
Who have you made this promise to?
To myself. So, can I come aboard or not?
We have rooms. Find one you like.
The Arcadia is making its last communication with the ruins.
Arcadia, let's go.
Ourselves to board that.
Inmates number Z303 and 304, your sentence has been issued.
Huh? Sentence?
Death. Inmate number F301, your sentence has been issued. Death. Inmate number D501, your sentence has been issued. Death.
The execution of 42 crew members from the famed pirate ship the Arcadia, including First Officer Gamran, has been officially ordered as of today. With news of this announcement, the fate of nearly all of Captain Herlock's crew has now finally been decided. One can say that the history of mankind has come to an end of a chapter, and that the era of the outlaw is now officially over. The open execution is scheduled to begin in less than 5 hours.
Less than 5 hours. It's as if they knew just how long it would take for us to get there.
It's a trap! What are you gonna do? Are you planning on going even though you know it's a trap?
The Arcadia has planned on going there from the onset.
We're headed for Panopticon.
it seems.
Captain, we have a position on the Fata Morgana.
Show me on the monitor.
The last update we had was from Pluto. Now the ship appears to be stopping at every planet in the solar system. Currently, it's parked on Jupiter.
What is the solar system fleet doing?
The solar system fleet is just...
What's wrong?
They've just started a war.
What?
It isn't only that one fleet. Every planet the Fata Morgana's been to declared war on one another after they left.
What have they done?
It would appear that we have probably instilled fear into all life forms of this solar system.
We may have overstayed, basking in the ecstasy that we have long been denied. Let us return to the quadrant near the planet Yeldar in the Hourglass Nebula. The land where new has been sealed away.
There's no need to hurry. We still have time before the door is to be opened.
I want to enjoy the fear that we have created for just a little bit longer. I can't seem to get that one man out of my mind. We still do not fully understand what his course of action is going to be.
It just gets worse, being sentenced to death in a place like this. This isn't how I wanted it all to end. There's still so much more that I want to do. I'm not ready to die yet. Yeah, well, neither am I. I haven't even left my mark yet. It's not so easy, you know, to do that in this day and age. We're not leaving anything behind, and there's not even something I'm proud of. Oh, help us!
Sabu, Yasu!
It's Kay! Hey, Kay!
It's been a while.
It has.
Hey, isn't that the crew of the Arcadia?
Yeah, and they're all smiling even though they're just about to be executed. First officer!
Officer, been a long time. I trust you're well. Haven't you put on a bit of weight?
It looks as if the captain has returned.
So it does. If they wanted to execute us, they could have done it a long time ago. The fact that they've been keeping us alive this whole time means that we were the bait for them to capture our captain.
So, in order for them to capture the captain, they came up with this trap?
It's Panopticon.
I've spotted the Arcadia. Distance 200 space kilometers.
All right, prepare anti-battleship photon cannons, but I want you to wait till the enemy's in full sight.
Roger.
space station. We're sending a warning to the Arcadia. Cut your engines at once. If you don't cooperate, we will show no mercy and will attack immediately. I repeat, cut your engines now.
What are you gonna do?
Keep going forward.
Target is at 180 space kilometers. Photon cannon energy now at 90% and still charging. 95%. 100%. Firing photon cannon. No good. At this distance, they can evade it.
I know that. This is all part of the plan. What's happening over at the execution site?
Most of the preparations are complete, sir.
Good.
Okay, hold on!
If you don't cut your engines right now, we'll execute all of them. But if you agree to follow our orders, we can put a stay on the execution and rescind the sentence.
You're trying to strike a bargain with us?
Here's the request form. This is an official negotiation.
Mime, see if you can get a scan of the prison satellite.
You know, Kay. I figured if I waited long enough, sooner or later you'd all join me here. It wouldn't have been hard at all for me to create a gadget that would help me bust out of this place, but... But what? But I just quit. The more I stayed here, the more I just didn't care.
They don't seem to be stopping. If they plan on staying this course, their ship's gonna collide with a prison satellite.
If they think we're only bluffing, they are definitely wrong. Contact the execution site. Roger. If you continue to move forward, we will immediately execute every person in there.
Herlock.
Cut all the engines.
The Arcadia has cut their engines.
Very good. Now just wait a little bit and let their inertia bring them closer. When they get too close to evade, open fire.
Roger.
Kay, do you think our captain is right outside about now?
I don't even need to think about that question to know.
So, if what you think is true and the captain really is going to show up here, wouldn't that mean that there's a new enemy for us to fight? You never know, Kay. That enemy may be a lot more horrifying than Mazone ever was. And if that's true, do you think the captain really would come to pick us up? Maybe he would try to take on this new enemy all on his own. When he let us off the ship, he said his wish was for us to live freely. Meaning, we were free to be caught and free to escape. But that also means we are free to be executed. Doesn't it?
Officer.
They will enter the Surefire Zone any second now.
Hey, young one. You wanted to chase after the enemy and charge into the solar system as soon as possible, didn't you? I had thought for sure you would be against us taking the time to come here, but so far you haven't said a thing.
If you all knew that your old comrades were in trouble but still did nothing about it, I would have thought of getting off of this ship.
Daiba. Do you know what I am having to decide on right now?
Huh?
Is charging in there and picking them up really the right thing for me to do? The queen of those ruins told us that what new is fear itself. The enemy that we are now about to fight may be something that is terribly treacherous and evil. I told them to live freely. Do I really have the right to call upon them to fight in another battle?
30 seconds until the Arcadia enters the surefire zone.
Regardless of all that, I still believe the captain is outside right now.
I feel the same. But if it's not true, and it turns out in the end that the captain decided not to ask us for our help, then what's the point of trying to get out of here alive? That's why, Kay,
But, Daiba, for some strange reason, my mind seemed to have been made up from the beginning.
5 seconds until they enter the surefire zone. 3, 2, 1.
All right, Arcadia. Go full speed ahead.
Fire! The target has moved into the shadows of the prison satellite. We're unable to fire.
Call the execution site now. Gun them all down. Roger.
What's this?
that's why, Kay. I covered my bases. 30 seconds. I figured if I could just stall them for 30 seconds right before they were to execute us, then there'd be enough time for the captain to bust in and pick us up. Oh, my poor collection.
Can't be.
That was so dangerous. They could have easily executed all of your comrades the moment you began to move in on them.
I had a feeling that my first officer Yataran might do something to stall them.
Step aside.
Could that mean that Herlock knows that the Earth has disappeared?
I just can't figure this thing out. I can't believe it. They're also pathetic. Over there is the...
Nobody's allowed to be near Herlock now. It's time for he and the ship to speak with each other.
Huh? Speak with each other?
So, what do you think? It's true. Earth had been forsaken. But why would Nu want Earth?
This footage is from 2 weeks ago. Immediately after the attack, they disappeared into thin air with the research ship, the Fata Morgana.
And then the ship was seen again just a few hours before the Earth's disappearance.
The ship belongs to an archaeological research team. They died in an accident that occurred while they were researching the 9th Ulysses system, also known as the Hourglass Nebula. We found the ship floating in the El Alamein cruising area and picked it up with the intention of holding on to it, but...
Who are they?
Most likely they're aliens who've come from an area that isn't under human control. They must have snuck in by taking over the bodies of the research team.
So, they're intruders then. How are you planning to deal with them?
The best plan to utilize when facing an unknown enemy is to first capture them, then try to determine their agenda. This plan of attack becomes even more essential if the enemy you encounter possesses a powerful weapon that would be better served in your hands than in your enemy's hands.
I see. And it would appear that they have a weapon capable of making the Earth disappear in a matter of seconds.
But the next best plan...
I have a trace on the enemy, sir. After making a complete trip around the solar system, the Fata Morgana has returned to Pluto.
They've chosen a perfect place for corpses. Any word from the observatory?
Nothing, since all communication was lost 12 hours ago.
I see.
That reminds me. Weren't you born there on the planet Pluto, Chief? Back in the days when I was still on Earth, your father was the head of the observatory on Pluto.
I don't remember too much about my father.
He was a good man. He gave everything for the future of mankind. The corrupt politicians of Earth were jealous of his achievements.
How's each country in the solar system responding?
Every country has ignored our orders to cease fire, and the civil wars that broke out only appear to be getting worse, sir.
How foolish.
Putting an end to war once it has already broken out is no easy task, I'm afraid. Unless you can elicit help from a stronger power.
It was you, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't me!
You can't fool me!
Is this all?
Yes.
They're just ordinary outlaws. Perhaps it would have been best to have killed them when we had the chance.
Well, we didn't understand exactly whom we were dealing with at the time. As new, we can only instill true terror into those beings that we are able to comprehend. Killing without instilling fear would be a bit boring, wouldn't it?
At least now we know that this man is not of any concern to us.
He is simply a man who is unable to escape from the memory of his friend who has died. Earthlings are nothing more than low-class organisms, ignorant to the true meaning of darkness.
It looks as if we have some tasty treats coming our way.
I'll take this. I think this one may be best served by my personal touch.
I don't believe it.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
The control panel on this ship is exactly like the one on the fluoride, Miss Kay.
Of course it is. I had this ship in mind when I designed the fluoride's control panel. Hey, boy.
I'm not a boy. I'm Tadashi Daiba.
I'm sorry, Daiba. Are you acquainted with the ship yet?
Forget about that ship. What's up with the crew? All they do is just lie around and goof off. When I heard you guys were space pirates, I thought...
That we would be a little more disciplined? That we lived by rules set in stone?
I didn't mean that. I'm just saying that these guys look like a bunch of washed-up drunks. Just like those losers back in the rubbish heaps.
And that's a bad thing? So young. You're upset because you don't have your own position yet. And you're taking it out on others.
That's not what I'm doing.
That naivete doesn't bother me. I think it's rather endearing. Oh, no. Now I sound like some old lady.
Don't make fun of me!
Captain.
Where's new ship now?
Right. Here's the warp footage we intercepted from Panopticon.
Show us what you're up to, Chief Elita.
35,000 space kilometers to Destination X on Pluto. We'll soon enter the combat zone.
All ships, prepare to launch for battle.
All ships are standing by.
Outside ships 1, 2, and 3. Commence takeoff. Starboard ships 4, 5, and 6. Commence takeoff.
I was just... Guess it was nothing.
Come here.
Attention all ships. The fleet has now entered the combat zone. Maintain current position until the order is given to attack.
This is ship number 1. Roger. Ship 2. Roger. Ship 3. Roger. Ship 4. Roger. Ship 5. Roger. Ship 6. Roger on both orders.
Come here. Come here. Come. Come. You will obey our commands.
Yes! We'll enter into firing range shortly. Unfortunately, our enemy's currently hidden behind the moon Sharon. Hey, what's wrong? Looks like you just saw a ghost. No, there's nothing wrong. I'm just fine.
Do you think it's possible that they could have used some sort of brainwave attack?
The electromagnetic and gravitational fields are normal. If there'd been an attack of that nature, I'm sure we'd notice that our crew had been affected by it.
Prepare the main cannon and alert all the ships. As soon as we've entered firing range, I want all the ships to fire at once.
But Chief, we can't. The target is still hidden behind the moon.
Did you not hear my orders?
Roger, I'll inform the ships immediately.
I thought that the plan was just to capture the target.
Considering we are not sure how the enemy will attack, I decided the previous plan involved far too many risks. I will instead deploy the next best plan.
What is that?
Annihilate the enemy by attacking them preemptively. We won't even give them the chance to use their unknown weapon.
You know one of our observatories is on that planet.
I am well aware of that.
The Pluto Observatory is a landmark that represents the enormous strides mankind has made exploring outer space. It's the foundation we built our dreams on. And in case you've forgotten, it's also where your father is buried.
Both of the things you've mentioned are nothing more than useless relics from the past. Like the Earth that our enemies so easily did away with. They hold no meaning to those of us who are living in the present.
Elita.
20 seconds until we're in range.
Captain.
10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All ships fire at once! What's done is done.
I wonder if the enemy is going to have some sort of a backup squad. If it turns out they do, then they will most definitely be intimidated by what we just did.
I've got an energy signal. Enlarging it on the monitor.
Impossible.
It's just like a living organism. What's wrong? Hey! I couldn't help it. It was just so frightening.
What are you doing? Call security!
Right!
You two? What? Captain, you too, right?
What are you talking about?
What just happened?
It's cannon fire from ship number 1!
What?
You two! It wasn't me! Help! The other ship can open fire as well!
You too, right?
What kind of witchcraft makes something like that happen?
Whatever it was, that ship withstood heavy fire and was immediately up and running again.
In 3 hours, the Arcadia will reach that same region of the solar system.
What?
So in 3 hours, we're gonna have to take on that enemy too?
Daiba. Daiba, you told me that you wanted to avenge your father's death. Now, is that still what you would like to do? Times when I will give orders, but you do not have to follow them. Are you disappointed?
She told me. Kayuki said that I'm mad because I don't have a place here. And she might be right. And it's not just here on this ship. I think I've always been frustrated. Even back when I lived on a planet of rubbish heaps. I just never knew what to do or where I should go.
I don't have a place of my own either. No place at all in the universe. And that's why I wander now without a purpose.
dissatisfying. How am I to revel in my handiwork if things continue to end this quickly?
Don't be discouraged. We have still yet another treat coming our way. That man.
Floating objects up ahead. It's what's left of the military's attack fleet.
5 minutes till we hit the combat zone. Though it looks like the battle is pretty much over and done now.
But the Arcadia is still on alert. It must be sensing something is still out there.
Kay,
Yes.
where's the first officer?
First officer, the captain is calling for you.
Yeah, well, I'm busy right now.
That's his response.
I see. Troubling.
What the heck's going on here?
That ship still got a fighter in it.
Dang it, there's a whole bunch of them!
What are you gonna do? At this rate, those guys are gonna finish us off.
Those who simply make noise just because they're frightened aren't going to be our true enemy. However, if you believe that they are an enemy to you, then fight.
You will obey our commands.
An illusion is not my enemy. Get lost.
We are everywhere in this universe. Therefore, this illusion is also a reality. Here's proof. You will obey our commands.
Listen up. You've all been handpicked. In the future, you will work at the core of the Earth's government, and it will be you who will guide the idle citizens of Earth. But in order to do that, you must first learn to discipline yourself on a regular basis.
Isn't he the kid who just came back from Pluto? Really? What's he doing here next to us then?
To wither away and die in space is a disgrace to the Elita family. Listen, Yukihito. I want you to promise that you will never end up like your father.
A cancer has gripped our society. Our citizens are wallowing in laziness and debauchery.
It is the duty of all of you here to regulate the spread of this kind of behavior.
No, Mother.
I hear it's some kind of space disease. Sure. If she hadn't gone out into space, she wouldn't have this problem. It's awful.
Looks like I'm going to die here in space as well.
No matter how calm you may appear on the outside, your genes reveal something different on the inside. Let me tell you something about the Earth. I am well aware of what the Earth represents to you. The land that holds a promise you made to an old friend. But being that it is the key to unlocking our seal, your planet was cursed from the beginning. You humans were like maggots feeding off a rotting carcass. I want you to experience the most compelling form of fear. You are going to stand by and watch as each of the comrades that you believe in betray you one by one. You will obey.
Zabu, what's wrong?
You will obey our commands. You will obey. How does it feel to lose your comrades one after another?
The name of this ship is the Arcadia. Only those with hope in their hearts can come aboard this ship. No one here on this ship will be overtaken by fear. This method you use to make people obey by filling them with fear is what my friend hated more than anything else. I will not allow you to do this on my ship!
That's ridiculous. Tell yourself what you want, what your comrades have already begun to.
There's no way that I would ever betray my captain. If you want to kill me, then kill me. I have sworn to devote the rest of my life to Herlock, and I will not take an order from anyone other than him.
I am nothing more than a weak excuse for a man. But I met Miss Kay, and I'm living my dream of being on the Arcadia, so I'm not going to let you down!
What?
You failed.
There has to be someone. Someone on this ship will betray you. There must be somebody here. Somebody who will succumb to fear and betray their comrades. What? Who are you? Are there no other crew members? Are they not human? This is impossible. For something like this to exist in this universe is incomprehensible. I'm shaking. I'm the one that's trembling with fear. I can't be. Even this body I borrowed is starting to reject me now. What kind of beings are you? How have you done this to me?
Be gone.
Captain!
Huh? Why is it quiet? What happened to that noisy bunch that was mumbling about being all scared?
It looks as if we've shook them off.
Interesting. No reason for me to be here then.
First officer?
Direction, upper left 15 degrees. I found the corpse's ship. Distance, 120,000 space kilometers.
Relative speed.
The relative speed is 77%.
I want all engines brought to full throttle. Elevation angle 45.
Aye, aye, sir.
Bring the engine room energy level to 200%. Approach at high speed till firing range.
Roger.
We're coming! They're on their way here!
What's wrong? What happened to you?
They're coming!
This isn't good. This will weaken the power that we have just begun to regain. Target has been located.
Approach speed set to 80.
1,200 meters till they're in the firing range of the main cannon.
Prepare 3 continuous rounds.
800 meters till firing range.
Target is locked in.
Direct rounds. Fire!
It's gone.
Captain, what should we do?
Let them be.
We're not going to try to chase after him?
There is a place we must go first.
It's funny to realize death isn't so frightening. Fear. Come to think, there's just one time that I've ever truly been afraid. I was an aide on a guard ship, running alongside of a cargo vessel, and my boss was about as clueless as they come.
What's wrong? Pirates! It's the Arcadia! Go on! Raise the white flag!
That was a wise move, Captain. It's the secret to living a long life.
Captain, almost all of the cargo has been transferred to our ship now.
Good. Let's go.
Want to kill him?
No. I'll save that fun for later.
When he looked me in the eye, there was nothing I could do to stop my entire body from trembling. However, I'm sure that he wouldn't remember it at all. The Arcadia.
There's more of them. Don't these guys ever give up? What's he trying to do?
It's Chief Elita.
That idiot's going to try to ram right into us.
Diver. Fire.
Sure.
You're gonna go despite your current condition?
Yeah.
Well, do you have to go at it alone?
This is something that must be done, Ms. Masu.
That chief engineer is a tough one.
You came too, huh?
Where am I?
Looks like it was a pretty nasty fight. Guessing you were part of that Pluto battle.
Yeah.
It's like this all over the solar system. We came to deliver some cargo, but when we got to the receiving dock on Saturn, all the humans were trying to kill each other. The whole thing was pretty disturbing.
Why'd you save me?
Huh?
Weren't you afraid that I'd try to kill the two of you?
Well, it was Ichiro who found you. And just think of the psychological damage that would have done to the boy if I'd kept on driving and just left you there.
The Earth. It's gone.
We all knew about it, but actually looking up and seeing it gone is pretty shocking.
But look, you'll notice the moon is still there.
Huh?
You're right, that is odd. If the Earth really had disappeared, it had severed the gravitational pull that holds the moon.
But we looked and there's no trace of Earth's gravity. How do you explain that?
It may not physically be here, but it is still here. The Earth hasn't disappeared completely, has it, Captain?
It's as if only the moon knows that to be true.
What's this?
Huh? It's resonating with that?
We're waiting for the Earth. If you trust what I say to be true, come here.
Daiba, let's go.
Okay.
I'm going too.
Who knew there'd be ruins like this on the moon?
The moon's been a pretty mysterious celestial body from the get-go. It's got more mass than your average satellite. And then there's the underground to open space and the backside.
Backside?
The moon only ever shows just half of itself to the Earth. The backside of the moon was a huge mystery to explorers for a really long time. Captain, wait up! What's going on? Who are you?
We all descend from a twisted rope.
You mean like that lady we came across back there in the ruins?
You have met my older sister.
Your sister?
We have been keeping watch over the Earth from its initial inception so as to prevent Nu from taking Earth back. However, we were unable to stop him, and we think they're using our own legacies to do it.
Nu is trying to take back the Earth.
Yes, Earth is a part of Nu's body. When this universe was born, it was devoid of any kind of order. It was a cruel world overrun by tireless infernos and spiraling pain. Nu was more than just the ruler of that universe. Nu was the actual state of being that dominated ancient space. Nu, who ruled the universe through terror, created slaves for himself. That was the first sign of order, the twisted rope. As time passed, the people of the twisted rope could no longer bear the shadow's control, and they began to revolt. By utilizing the power within the chain of space and the arrow of time, they were able to succeed.
Well, what's the chain of space and the arrow of time?
The arrow of time was used to shatter Nu's body, sending shards of him throughout the galaxy. A new soul, bound by the chain of space, was taken to the edge of the universe and sealed away. And so, with the flow of time, the universe began to progress. All of this took place in less than 1/10 of a second after the universe had been created.
You're talking about blank time. It's when the universe was even smaller than elementary particles. The universe used to be an exceedingly dense place. This is back in a time when the laws of physics just didn't apply. That's it.
Hundreds of millions of years passed, and countless galaxies and celestial bodies were formed. However, within them were remnants of the shattered remains of Nu. And one of those planets
is the Earth?
Right before being sealed away, Nu placed a curse on his own body. Any organism on any planet born from a piece of Nu will once again be enslaved by Nu.
Enslaved?
And the symbol that represents the slaves is the twisted rope.
The twisted rope? Then you're talking about DNA!
Why do you think Earth is a planet that has the ability to produce life? It's because Earth is a part of Nu's body.
You're saying the creation of life is Nu's curse?
All forms of life are slaves of Nu, and at the same time, we are all descendants of the twisted rope. It is our responsibility to protect the seal. You should know some of our people were unable to defend themselves against the curse, and they turned against us. Our star fell to ruins. We are the only ones who have remained.
So the moon was one of your watchposts. But why would Nu want to make the Earth disappear then?
To make a path on this side.
To make a path on this side?
Nu's spirit is the only part of him that is sealed away in an alternate dimension. And in order for him to revive in this universe, a piece of his body is needed, if only a fraction of it. Earth is still there, but at the same time it's moving through an alternate dimension at tremendous speeds towards the gate of Yadar.
Yadar? But that's where my father's research team was at.
Yadar's in the Hourglass Nebula. It's an unknown territory that's blanketed by extremely dark matter.
It's where Nu is sealed away. The seal cannot be opened from just one side. It must be opened from both sides.
So he's gonna bring the Earth from the other side of this alternate dimension and try and ram it into the gate of Yadar?
Precisely. And if he's successful, the moment the gate of Yadar is destroyed, Nu will begin to spill out into this universe once again.
So what are those 4 corpses about then?
They most likely came into direct contact with the gate.
The gate?
Because the power of the seal is weakening. There was enough of Nu's power in the universe to take over those 4 bodies.
What kind of energy wave was it those guys used?
The space-time cannon they have applies the same theories behind the chain of space and the arrow of time. It was something passed on only to the people of the twisted rope.
So the same method used to seal him away is being used in reverse right now to try and break him out.
We have only 500 hours before the Earth collides into the gate of Yadar. Please, before this happens, take the time-space cannon from Nu and seal him away again. It is the only chance we have to save the universe.
No thanks.
Huh?
Whether or not Nu revives has little to do with me. I live my life as I choose to live it. Let's go.
But wait!
I'm afraid you were the only ones left. It won't be long now before the universe is engulfed with fear. What a selfish person.
You know, lady, it takes a whole lot of discipline to be really good at being selfish. Oh, yeah. While I'm here, can I ask you one thing? This other dimension that Earth's in right now, you know, where Nu is sealed away, what kind of place is it?
Describing it in words would be like a description of hell. It's a horrifying place where the will of all who have deceased echo into infinity.
You don't say, huh? Okay then. See ya.
Hey, was that really the right thing to do?
Beats me. Before you go, you got something I want to check out.
Huh? Oh.
Can I have a look at it?
It's got a microchip in it that my dad left for me.
Professor Dybus?
It holds the data from some stone plate that he found.
Hey, how would you feel about letting me borrow this?
Huh? Well, I don't see why not. I haven't been able to figure it out.
I'll catch you later, Captain.
We need to change the way we think about that man. To ensure that our ceremony goes perfectly, we will need to stop that ship. I will be in charge of that.
It's a blessing! God is now dead! It's now time for our true Lord and Savior to return and rule over the universe once again! Behold!
This is the Hourglass Nebula, and at the center is the eye of the nebula, which is the Yadar area.
At full speed, it'll take 480 hours, which is barely enough time.
But if we go hard for that long, the engine will roast.
We gotta do something. We know their ship will be there in the next 500 hours. If we head towards them at full speed, maybe then we can...
The Arcadia has decided to change course. It looks like it's heading toward the mining planet in the open cluster NGC 1647.
You're kidding! It's moving on its own, but it's going in the totally wrong direction.
It wants to reunite with an old comrade.
What's the meaning behind this? We haven't even taken any hostages yet. Have they figured out our plan? They couldn't have. That's impossible.
We have already discovered the location of the two you are seeking.
Very well. If he's willing to come over here, then I have no choice but to change my plans and play along.
Takematsu, wait for me. I'm on my way now.
I'll be back in 2 hours.
This place seems pretty peaceful. You guys should take this opportunity to relax for a bit.
Yeah, let's go see what this town has to offer.
All right.
So, Daiba, want to go on a date with me? Loosen up a bit. It'll do you good.
We ain't open today.
So, has he always been like this?
Has who?
The captain.
What about him?
I don't understand anything he says sometimes. Not to mention what he's thinking about. A captain's supposed to be like sharp and stuff. You know, like all orderly and demanding and logical about everything. They're into stuff like tactics. I don't know how else I can put it. He always seems just so spur of the moment.
I'm sorry. You don't speak in a logical, orderly manner. I just don't understand what you're saying, Daiba.
Fine, then. What are these guys?
We're gonna run. Damn it!
This kid!
Over here!
It was the same day that the voice started to echo. A young lad that the chief engineer was fond of named Takematsu was buried alive. All the other miners were scared to death and too afraid to rescue him. And so the chief engineer, who still wasn't finished healing, went there alone.
That's the kind of man that he is.
I wonder where they are all headed to.
It's him! Looks like we can get out from over here, Miss Kay.
Great. Let's go, Daiba.
Damn it!
What's the problem, Daiba?
We spared your life on your planet, and still you came here just to get yourself killed.
I hate you!
Go on, touch me.
Captain, Miss K has been... It's bad. I can't hear her heartbeat.
Kay, pull it together! Kay!
Miss K!
The planet was full of some pretty rough guys to begin with, but it was never as bad as this. It was that day. The day the warp footage of Earth disappeared. That's when that horrible voice, the kind that feels like a death grip around your heart, started echoing from deep within the mountain. The more that voice was heard, the more everyone slowly started going insane. It wasn't long after that when this group of devil worshippers started forming, and it was those people who were the ones responsible for starting the riot. There had to have been some sane people like you and me among them, but I think they figured pretending to be like the rest of them is going to be their only way to live to see another day. There's a rumor around these parts that sealed deep inside that mountain is some kind of temple for the devil. I'm sure that voice is coming from somewhere way down in that place.
It sounds to me like this planet was destroyed by news followers, too. Doctor, how's Miss K?
I was able to heal all her wounds, but her heart stopped for so long, I'm not sure she'll pull through.
Miss K.
Kay.
Wait for me.
Take your hands off me, damn it!
Friend, Kay's life is hanging in the balance. Is there nothing I can do? Just pray.
So these guys are the ones that woke up that voice. Looks like this
temple was created by people who sold their souls to Nu.
Temple that our servants built. Now is the time for you to reveal your horrific face to every soul in this land. The temple created by those who gave in to their fears and became our followers is filled thick with the spirits of our loyal servants. And within the realm of that magnetic field, no one is able to retain their sanity, no matter how much willpower they may have. Not even that man.
It was because of that ship that he was able to defeat us in the past. But if we draw him out of that ship and lure him into our own playground, killing him will be as easy as killing the rest.
Killing him is not enough. I will not be satisfied until I see him kneel down before us and grovel for the chance to serve us.
We will watch from here. But first, we must get to the gate of Yedar.
Soon, the day will come when we will be spread throughout the galaxies, when fear has enveloped the universe.
I found it! I found the Fata Morgana!
Good work. Now don't lose sight of it this time.
Yes, sir. It's coming from the open cluster in Taurus and heading towards the 5th solar system. It would appear that the ship's trying to escape into the frontier areas. Sir, the Prime Minister.
Can you tell me what's going on here?
Well, sir, you see, the Great Space Armada was completely destroyed in battle and Chief Elita is still missing. But we've located the ship that was taken over by the corpses.
Okay, enough. I don't give a damn what happens out there in the frontier areas. If it passes by without creating any problems, we can go on as if nothing had happened.
But, sir...
Like the old adage says, let sleepy dogs lie. And by the way, since Elita's probably long gone by now, if you think you're up for it, I would like for you to stand in as the chief sheriff for a little while.
Yes, of course. Thank you very much, sir.
All continents are believed to be...
Here we have.
Try it! Ain't nothing. There's not a single bit of information about the solar system or about the Space Armada.
Of course not. All broadcasting in space is regulated by the Sheriff's Department.
Don't you have some colleagues that you need to be contacting or something?
I've never had any colleagues.
Oh, I see.
I no longer have a place to return to, or an objective to fulfill. You can drop me off at whatever planet is convenient for you.
I'm gonna take us straight back to the Pioneer planet. Whether you like it or not, mister, you're staying with us for a little while.
Thank you. I heard you mention a pioneer planet. Which planet is that?
Neoterra.
Neoterra. Earth at the end of the universe.
That's right. The planet that's just like Earth they found way out on the fringes of human development, away from the influences of modern society. It was a haven for people who hated the center's control. They came to the planet full of all kinds of dreams and hopes. But now, with development companies entering into the scene, everything has changed completely. Hey, mister! You were just in a war, right? That is so cool.
Make no mistake, son. War is an act that ignorant people do. If, for some reason, you feel the need to fight against something, fight it by yourself.
I'm amazed that something like that existed underground.
So that temple was where they were headed.
Huh? It's that stupid kid!
It's his fault that Miss K got...
You come alone?
Herlock?
so heavy. It feels as if my own heart is being wrenched down by his hand.
It's the evil presence created by those who've given in to New.
By the way, kid, how did you end up here?
What do you mean?
Well, you're on the verge of what's sure to be a horrible death, and it seems like something bigger's on your mind.
Because of me, someone's life has been put in danger. I may have even killed that person.
I see. That's pretty rough.
That's my story, but what the hell were you doing back there?
Well, I guess my story's the same as yours. Hey, Takematsu, I want you to head down there and tell me how far this shaft extends.
You want me?
Don't worry about it. If anything happens, I promise I'll rescue you myself. Live with this, no matter how painful. A man, someone who, despite it all, continues to stand up tall.
Dr. Tyler's son. I asked you to touch me earlier. Let me show you what would have happened if you and I had come into direct contact. You... I was bored with that body anyway. A little entertainment will pass the time. A fight to the death. If the two of you choose not to fight, I'm sure this creature will make a fine feast of you instead. However, if one of you does kill your opponent, I promise to spare that one's life.
I'm sorry about this, kid, but I can't rest in peace until I finish this. Takematsu, that's you, right?
It's me, boss.
Takematsu.
Why didn't you come to save me like you promised?
Takematsu, I'm so sorry.
It was dark and really cold, and that voice, it was the only sound that I could hear. I was so scared.
Oh, Takematsu. Please forgive me. Please forgive me, Takematsu.
Boss, I...
I know that knife.
I've told you before, it's useless. No matter how hard you try to fight it, our rival continues to come closer and closer.
This may be hard for you to believe, but I could care less.
What? Then why is it that you are pursuing us?
Because you have taken the Earth. I understand that at the present moment it is in your world.
So you want revenge for doing away with your homeland?
The fact that Earth was the birthplace for mankind means nothing to me. For me, it is just a planet that holds a strange mixture of both hatred and hope, and it marks the place where I swore an oath to a friend. Now listen, I will return Earth to its proper place, and in the process, if anyone chooses to get in my way, make no mistake, I'll kill him. That is all.
No, don't let him touch you!
Are you afraid to touch me? It is impossible for anyone to remain sane after seeing our true form. Now, prepare to hand your pathetic human body over to me as you writhe in fear, whimpering at my feet. This dry, hollow space you're experiencing is what lies within the shadows of your heart. And as long as darkness dwells in a heart, there will be no body that we cannot seize and control. We are the servants of you. We are the servants of you. We are the servants of you.
What's happening?
We are the servants of you. We are the servants of you. We are the servants of you. We are the servants of you.
It looks like a new spirit is trying to take over Herlock's body.
You think that creature could be some kind of celestial body or something?
Yeah.
Well then, it's got no chance of being there. There's not a spirit out there that could beat the captain. Not even one like that. That's been my experience. Regardless, we're gonna have to get rid of these guys.
Right!
You still don't get it, do you? Not everyone is going to just give in to their fear. There are men out there who do not feel fear, no matter what the situation may be. And as long as those men exist, I will not betray the conviction that lives in my soul. But perhaps what is more important than anything else is that within my heart resides my friend.
What's this?
The ship's taking control!
After he lost his host, he disappeared. Who would have imagined that he is this powerful?
Captain.
I see my chief mechanic is still a good man.
But, Captain... Takematsu.
Help me, boss!
Takematsu.
Captain. Set the man free.
Please, boss, please. Boss. Please, boss. Boss, help me. But boss, you...
Takematsu, I'm so sorry.
Bring the third nozzle up to full speed! Hey, did you finish that checkup on the auxiliary engine?
We're on it, sir. This place just hasn't been the same without you, Chief. Not at all.
All right, fill up the auxiliary engine with gravium ore. We'll be switching over to the main engine in 5 minutes.
Aye, aye, sir.
Arcadia, let's go.
Man, that's good. I want second. Give me another bowl, too. Give me as much as you got there, Masu.
Hey, one at a time! Leave so much as a scrap and you're paying for it. You hear?
Yeah, we know, Masu. You haven't changed.
Let me over here. Damn it, me! Get back here! Get back here, you fleabag!
You idiot! Because of you, Miss K is...
Here's what I've got so far on that stone tablet that the kid brought on board. I've only been able to decipher about a third of it, though. Half of what's here is the same info we learned in the palace ruins on the moon. And the other half has information regarding the chain of space and the arrow of time that was used to imprison Nu. Basically, it's the blueprint for the space-time cannon that those guys were using. But before I get too into this, I need to give you some background on how the universe was created. In the beginning, space was... good timing. You know the story, right?
Yeah, you're talking about the Big Bang.
That's right. The universe started out as a singularity. A singularity is one point the size of zero and infinitely dense. From that point, the universe began to develop the concept of space, and from there it slowly expanded into what is the current universe as we know it. But in order to develop space, you need something bigger than one elementary particle. You with me? So when the universe began to expand from size zero, it began to expand from a size that was smaller than one elementary particle. This is what people refer to as blank time. The length of it is less than 1/10 of a second. It's the exact amount of time the Moon Princess told us Nu had control over the universe.
It was a time of chaos when matter didn't follow the laws of physics.
A horrible world where you'd be burned by unimaginable heat and squashed by an infinite amount of pressure. It was truly hell. But when space becomes larger than one elementary particle, and matter is able to create time and space according to the laws of physics, things change.
All right, I'm out.
Elementary space makes no distinction between time and space in the coordinate system. In other words, both the time axis and the space axis are given the same positive symbol. In this situation, a period of time is called imaginary time. The secret behind imaginary time spinning and flipping into the current positive time axis is in the spin. Spin is the direction in which elementary particles turn around.
Now I'm out too.
The universe is made up of spinning matter, spinning in two directions, those being either up or down. But on this stone tablet, there's something about a condition in which matter spins up at the same time it's spinning down. If you look at the wave function of a normal spin on a density matrix, you'll see they line up diagonally. And so this is the universe that all of us are in right now. However, on both sides of this diagonal, there lies a universe where matter spins up at the same time it's spinning down. It's a world of quantum mechanics that our science tends to ignore. A place where Schrodinger's cat is indeed alive and at the same time dead. That's
the alternate dimension where new is.
You got it. By flipping the direction in which matter spins towards the imaginary axis, the sign on the time axis is reversed. This is how imaginary space is created, and the world that new is trapped in right now. Here's an 8-dimensional space-time map I created that includes New's imaginary universe. It's based on information I gathered from the stone tablet. If this is where we are now, then the Hourglass Nebula would be on the other side of the vortex. Because Earth is heading up through it in a straight path, it means we'd have to be able to move at the speed of light in order for us to intercept it in time.
Yeah, but boss, even if we could make it in time, how are we supposed to bring the Earth back to our solar system?
The Earth never left our solar system.
Huh?
It never left three-dimensional space. It's just that now, it's spinning towards the imaginary axis. This right here tells you how to build the serial density cannon that can change the direction of the spin. But unfortunately, I couldn't understand it.
You're kidding.
This is something that took Professor Diva 5 years to figure out. I'm not going to be able to decipher it that quickly.
There's still a way. We can use the serial density cannon that they have on their ship.
Yeah.
We can catch up to that ship and take control of it. It's our only chance.
Well, I guess that's how things generally end up. I'll head back to my room and try my best to decipher the rest of this. I guess that's all. Oh yeah, I wanted to tell you one more thing. I'm not entirely sure, but something else might be linked to this imaginary space where New is. Huh? It could be tied to our spirits. There's a theory that human feeling is caused by a density fluctuation that occurs within the capillaries in our brains. In other words, when we're thinking about things is when the spin in our brains is simultaneously up and down. But that doesn't really mean much, though I think this could explain how they were able to break into people's psyches so easily and make them give in to their fears. At least it's some kind of an explanation. Right or wrong, who knows?
Well, young lady, I must say I'm surprised you are still alive.
Captain, you've got to punish me. It's all my fault that she's...
You swore to avenge your father's death. And so you fired a shot to fulfill that oath. It's all right.
Yeah, but Captain,
But what?
It's just that all of it happened so quickly, and something desperate seemed to rise up from deep within me.
As long as you're taking a stand for what you believe in, listen to what your heart has to say and let that be your guide.
Herlock doesn't like to punish people. And those he feels he just can't forgive, he kills.
Ah, come on now. Don't be such a crybaby.
Yeah, get over it, Diva. It's not like we're gonna be mad at you forever.
One good smack and it's over and done with. That's how men take care of things.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Amazing. Our energy consumption is going down, but the speed we can do just keeps going up.
The chief engineer knows the Arcadius dimensional fluid engine inside and out.
If he keeps this up, we just might be able to catch up to him.
Something's out there.
It's no good. We're gonna hit it!
What was that?
The body appears to have been shattered.
Checking the ship for damage. There doesn't appear to be any.
better get ready for tomorrow. Is someone in here? Hey, what are you doing?
What's going on? Hey!
What's happening? Huge problem. He's walking around with a knife slashing everyone.
Miss Kay!
You wanted to take over her body. She's unconscious. Her body's just a shell for him right now. This is all my fault.
Close down the corridor bulkheads and seal everything off.
Aye, sir.
Attention! Emergency! Emergency! Our version of Kayuki is loose in the ship! This is not the real Kayuki! I repeat, this is not the real Kayuki! Her body has been taken over by new spirit! Be on the lookout! I repeat, an armed version of Kayuki is loose in the ship! This is not the real Kayuki! Her body has been taken over by new spirit! Be on the lookout!
She's onto us, sir. What are we gonna do?
Confirm the current location of every crew member that's on this ship. If there is anyone stranded in a corridor, raise the bulkheads momentarily and then guide them into a secure location.
Roger.
Pull up the ship's map.
Bringing up the map of the ship now, sir. I've got Miss Kay's location.
Good. Now close off every path leading to the engine room into the warehouse. Once you have her sealed off, open one path that leads directly into the captain's room.
Roger that.
She's not falling for it.
It looks as if your body has been taken over by someone else.
The same thing happened to us as well.
You will get used to it, and before long, any remorse you had for your physical body will be gone.
And you'll wander through the forest of eternal pain without concern for your physical body, just like we do.
Who are all of you? Where am I?
It appears you may not actually be dead just yet. Perhaps there's some sort of fate involved in us meeting here now. Please listen to our story. It may help you. We were part of a space archaeological research team that was working our way towards the Yadar area of the Hourglass Nebula. It's a land where no man had ever set foot. Research we gathered from other ruins found in space led us to believe that the secret to the creation of civilization rested there. However, it's a forbidding land that many adventurers have attempted to set foot on before, and most have perished without fulfilling that dream. Every now and then, someone would survive the journey, but all of them returned to civilization completely insane. Dr. Hassan concocted an antipsychotic drug for our journey, and because of that, We were able to withstand the abnormally strong brain waves that are abundant in that region. And finally, we arrived at the center of Yadar, an unknown territory still untouched by man.
This is bad. We shouldn't go any further.
What seems to be the problem, Professor Daiba?
Just up ahead, I have this feeling that something wicked is waiting.
Following a hunch is not very scientific.
It's not like you, Professor Diver, to come this far and get scared.
Professor Hiltz, we must turn back immediately.
Daiba, I am the captain of this team.
Professor Daiba! Take a look at this!
A fear greater than anything imaginable attacked us.
The fear was so overpowering that we handed over our physical bodies and died.
It was precisely what Professor Daiba had warned us of. We had touched something that should never have been touched.
It doesn't matter. It was all part of destiny, determined before the universe even began.
What happened to Daiba after he left?
Is something we don't know.
I'm glad we were able to tell you all this. The only people that are in this place are the old and the infirm.
You abandon all hope in this place and simply wait for death.
If you somehow manage to return to your body, please retell our story. Tell them how foolish mankind can be and hope they don't repeat our mistakes.
Wait, there's more I want to ask!
I wonder if New has access to what's inside Miss K's brain. If so, he'll know every single thing about this ship.
Yeah, you're right. And there's nothing we can do about it. Captain, let me try to...
At times like this, my friend used to have a few drinks, sleep, and wait for something to happen.
Huh?
He'd wait for the enemy to strike first.
go back. This isn't where I should be. This can't possibly be.
She's out! Looks like she swiped some guns and ammo from the armory!
I think she's headed for the engine room. Looks like she's going to try and stop the ship.
Open up all the bulkheads that are going to lead her to the engine room.
Huh?
If it's New's objective to try to stop the ship, he will have two targets. I'll lure her into the second one.
She fell for it.
I trust you with the rest.
But, Captain! You don't think the captain is planning on killing Miss Kay?
It's no use. I can't go back.
Captain! I'm begging you. Please let me try it. Get out of her body.
Give it up. Once I destroy this area, the ship will come to a stop. Then I will proceed to kill everyone on this ship.
It looks like your plan failed.
I see. This is the reason why I was lured into this room. It would appear to be the most important room on the ship, when in actuality, it's just the safest.
Now, try and take over my body.
What?
Let's see if you're up for it.
Amusing. Do you really think you're capable of overcoming the fear that we can instill in you? Become my servant.
There's no way! I won't give in to you!
Tell them that the Earth is still alive. The Earth is still alive?
Let Herlock know.
Just who are you? Diva? Taiba, it's you. What was I doing?
Miss Kay!
Kay!
Captain.
The planet, Neoterra.
That's right. Earth at the end of the universe. The planet out in the boonies where mankind built a replica to remind them of their homeland. There ain't no better place around for you to restart your life. You'll see.
At this pace, we should reach the Hourglass Nebula in just about 30 hours. And according to this, we've got about 45 hours before Earth hits the gate of Yadar. Looks like we've pretty much made up any time we lost.
Yeah, but we're still totally clueless on where the Fata Morgana is. What the hell is that?
Why do you not give in and bow down to fear? There can be no being who is capable of resisting our horror. It goes against the truths of the shadow. It's time for us to have one last stand together. I challenge you to a duel. If you think you are prepared to experience fear in its purest form, then you will accept.
I will accept.
Then follow me.
What planet is that? The planet Neoterra, a.k.a. Earth at the end of the universe. It's just before you get to the Hourglass Nebula, about 19 hours from where we are now.
Set course for the Earth at the end of the universe.
Aye, aye, sir.
Isn't that...
It looks like they're building another new city. That means they'll be leveling whatever was there before.
What do you mean? If a developer uncovers the ruins of an ancient civilization, he must withdraw until a thorough investigation is complete. They can't just destroy the ruins. Illegal dumping in space is a capital crime.
But there's a loophole in the space law. If they take the ruins to some other frontier planet and toss them there, it's considered a delivery and not abandonment.
I can't believe this.
The Central Group's control on things starts to get a little looser out here on the frontier. That's the way it goes, I guess. In order for them to build up a frontier planet, they gotta start by tearing down something else from the past. And all the while we're living here, we gotta deal with the nagging notion that someday we're gonna be cursed for all our destruction. It's a sad state. Mr. Alita. Let me see if I might not be able to find you a new job around here.
That's very nice, but that's too much.
Ichiro seems to think you're all right. And I guess I kind of like having you around as well.
Thank you.
The Forbidden One will be revived. The Forbidden One will be revived.
Mister? Are you okay? Is something wrong?
No, it's nothing.
Hey, Tommy, is that your new boyfriend you got there?
Come on, it ain't nothing like that.
Oh, man. Your body just gets so out of shape when things get to be this slow.
Hey, Tommy. I heard the solar system's a big old mess right now.
How did you hear that? I couldn't find it being broadcast anywhere.
No matter how much they try and regulate things, they ain't gonna stop rumors.
That's the truth. Rumors spread between people faster than the speed of light.
You got that right.
It's the emergency call. Yeah, but what could be an emergency?
Special bulletin just in. According to a news release from the sheriff's station, intelligence has been gathered which confirms that the Arcadia, the ship belonging to the space pirate Captain Herlock, is headed straight towards this planet. I repeat, the Arcadia, the ship belonging to the space pirate Captain Herlock, is headed straight towards this planet. His intentions are unknown at this time. In preparation for his arrival, the sheriff's space station is on high-level alert. In order to defeat the space pirate, they have issued an emergency summons that requires all ships to fire against and destroy the Arcadia.
So, the Earth is still alive.
Yes.
In Yadaran's explanation of the Big Bang Theory, our spirits are connected to the alternate dimension where Nu's sealed away. And if that's true, Kay, it's possible that in your near-death experience, your soul may have left your body and ended up on Earth.
Perhaps it was just my memories of Earth itself that I fell into.
Your memories of Earth?
Yeah. Maybe my memories of Earth borrowed the shape of that little girl in order to tell me something. Earth hasn't lost its will to fight and to live. I really believe that.
I know that you do. I won't forget all of the people who held the Earth close to their hearts and believed in its future.
What are you guys trying to do?
First Officer Yadaran's down there right now trying to add some sort of gizmo to the pulsar cannon.
Gizmo?
If we're gonna fight against that thing head on, we're gonna need this. It isn't something that I came up with on my own, you know. It's all from that stone tablet of yours. That thing's a huge wealth of knowledge. No wonder Professor Daiba wanted to decipher it. However, one wrong step and you got major tragedy. For some reason, technological research goes hand in hand with destruction. Throughout the history of mankind, scientists have had a hell of a time balancing those two sides. And here I am, unable to decipher the most important parts. I still don't know how to make the serial density cannon. It's pathetic. The only person I could think of who'd have enough genius to make that thing, other than Professor Daiba, would be Tochiro.
If a man believes in something, he must be willing to risk his life for it. As a scientist, I have given up everything I love just for the noble pursuit of wisdom, because that is what I believe in.
Did my dad know how dangerous it would be to use the serial density cannon when he was trying to decipher the tablet? Or did he?
Mister?
The Arcadia took out the entire space armada all by itself. There's no way we're gonna fight that.
If that's true, then you're right. We got no choice. Get me the hell out of here.
to have caused so much trouble. I'm ready to work.
Miss Kay!
I'm glad you're back.
Welcome back, Kay.
We're out in front of the enemy right now.
It looks like what the Arcadia's been chasing after is the Fata Morgana.
Okay, but what does that mean?
Well, let's go! Let's do it!
What's going on? It's not regenerating.
Well, looks like the gizmo worked. The reason they were always able to regenerate before was because they had the ability to save the data of the structure right before the quantum realm was going to be destroyed. So I tacked on a quantum vibrator wave to wipe out all the info in the pulsar cannon. Just like the tablet said it would. Look at them. They're so surprised they're running away.
Whoever would have thought they'd discovered the secret to our regeneration? But that doesn't matter now. No matter what happens, their graves are still going to be here on this planet.
What you are now seeing has been brought to you by the Space Sheriff Station. This is live footage from an unmanned camera on top of the watchtower. The Arcadia has engaged a mysterious spaceship of unknown origin in a high-speed chase. According to the Sheriff Space Station, it is
What is it? You got a tinkle?
spaceships are here, and until they know, they will...
I found this.
Well, I guess my ID is still active.
What the hell do you think you're... Chief Elita? But that's impossible. They said the chief died in the solar system. Wait! Hold on! Don't leave me alone with him!
Just as I thought. Give me complete access to the space broadcast system now. I want mankind to see my mistake. I'm going to put everything out in the open.
There's a problem. Someone has accessed the broadcast system from the warp connection. He's hacked into the library and is going to broadcast old footage that wasn't shown.
But why? Who'd do such a thing?
It says that this ID is registered to Chief Elita.
No, there's no way.
It's gone.
What's all this about?
First officer, make sure that you don't overdo it. If you take out the serial density cannon, then we will lose everything. Got it?
I'm well aware of that.
Oh, forbidding one created by the hands of our servants. Revive. Revive.
Hey, what's going on?
What was that?
A gravitational wave. It seems every single detector throughout space simultaneously felt it. What? That can't be right.
What is it now?
The entire universe just trembled at the same time.
The entire universe did this? It's freaking enormous. Hey, look at that. The crevasse is starting to move.
All of the onboard computers are beginning to malfunction.
I can't get her to budge. The self-navigating system is shut down.
It looks as if the Arcadia is going to be met with the same fate as the descendants of the Twisted Rope.
Damn it! They were planning on trapping us here and then making a run for it from the very beginning!
That ain't even the half of it. That thing up there affects the planet's axis. Their plan is to trap us in here and then destroy the entire planet.
That thing is apocalyptic and will completely destroy all civilization. It is a horrific monster that those who gave in to New created by using technology that we had developed. It is programmed to force every machine run by a logical circuit in the entire universe to malfunction. It will continue moving until every civilization in this galaxy has been obliterated. I gave up my life in an attempt to seal it away in these ruins forever.
Engine, steering, and communication systems are all active, but unfortunately all the control systems are down.
Inform the whole crew. We're going to manually perform all functions of the central computer from this point forward.
Roger that. From here on, all systems will be operated manually. Everyone needs to decide what tasks they'll best perform.
So what should we do? We should go and get right to it.
Yeah. Close the bulbs for number 3, 6, and 8. If we start thrashing about needlessly, it'll only make it worse. Stand by at 25% output until further notice. Roger! Let's do this! The pulsar cannon's now
position, sir. It's been turned to the right 30 degrees.
I want the bow of the ship pointing straight up.
Port nozzle to fire at 70%. We'll make adjustments from the starboard nozzle. The tip of the left wing is stuck. We can't turn it. It's completely wedged.
Why haven't you got the broadcast system back online yet?
I can't. Administrative control is denying access from any of our terminals.
Transfer all controls to interceptor number 1.
Hey, what's up with the damn TV? Yeah, is it broken? Just
Miss Tomiko, I apologize for leaving without saying goodbye. You said this planet was a great place for someone to begin their life anew. And although I'm sure you're probably right, I don't deserve to have acquired a fresh start so easily. In the history of mankind, countless individuals have started wars or engaged in battles sending thousands of people to their death, and yet few of them have ever been held accountable for their actions. More often than not, they've continued on with their lives as if nothing had ever happened. I now detest those men, and I refuse to become one of them.
Hey, look, it's back on. What is that?
Because of decisions I made, a lot of soldiers died in the solar system, and because of that, I do not deserve to live out here in peace. I am the reason that ship of corpses has come to this planet. It was so all the soldiers that I allowed to die could tell me that I need to take responsibility for their deaths. I am now grateful for this. It has offered me a chance to redeem myself as a man.
Well, now that's a surprise. It looks as if it was only that ship that had figured out the secret to our regeneration.
He's starting to die.
You should take a look at this, Ichiro. He's gonna put his whole heart into this fight like a real man should. We have contact from that interceptor.
So, Herlock, can you hear me?
You've always had a reckless side, haven't you?
I guess you do remember. I'm not here to interfere with your fight against that ship. I'm here to fight for nothing more than my pride, and I'm well aware that my fight will not last for long. If you plan to free yourself from this crevasse and to chase that ship, then follow my heart as it leads the way. Well, now, I suppose that's about the best that I can do.
What's he doing?
That interceptor has the warp footage tracking system from Panopticon locked to it.
Oh no. He's gonna... Haven't you freed the left wing from the crevasse yet?
We can't. It's wedged.
Blow up the left wing.
Huh? Okay.
It looks like I made a mistake as to which flag I should fight under. Herlock, if I could do it again, I would fight under your flag.
Stop wasting my time. Wow, you did it.
Ichiro, don't choose the wrong flag to fight under.
Captain, explosion preparations are complete.
Engines, full throttle!
Three consecutive rounds. Fire!
Okay, ram it.
How did someone who descended from our slaves gain so much power? How can he do this?
All terminal control systems have returned to active. Other than the left wing, all damages, including the engine and the driving force, seem to be minor.
Captain, the central computer is refusing to reboot.
No way.
Why?
I need to be alone with the ship.
Huh?
I sure hope the captain knows what he's doing. I don't see what the point is by making all of us get off the ship.
Well, I still can't believe that the central computer just stopped working.
Perhaps it'll want to boot up again after Herlock talks to it. Let's just give him some time.
All crew members have left the ship. The only ones that are left are us.
You're to leave the ship as well.
Captain,
What do you say we trust Herlock with this one?
Well, I guess if you say so, Mime.
Yeah. First officer, could you leave Professor Daiba's data with me?
Huh? Oh, you mean this? Sure. Here.
Daiba, I swore to you that I would assist you in avenging your father's death.
Yeah.
And I still intend to fulfill the oath that I made. However, I'm going to require a little bit more time.
I understand. There's more important things now.
Captain, please let me. Never mind. I will leave now.
It's the
First officer!
hey, where's Daiba?
Huh?
Mime's not here either.
Well, my friend, let's go.
Look, the Arcadia has powered up.
It's gonna leave us all behind?
Damn it, the central computer managed to fool all of us.
What do you mean?
It pretended to malfunction just to get us all off the ship.
You mean the captain is gonna go and fight that thing by himself?
Thank you, Mime. I have no doubt that there isn't a place in this galaxy that I wouldn't travel to with them. But where we're headed to right now could mean the very end of the universe as we know it. And I won't let them follow me that far.
I think the warp footage system should still be tracking that corpse ship. I'm gonna see if I can intercept the feed.
He's coming! He's coming!
Got it!
All right.
Why is he still able to pursue me?
Captain!
So you care about the Earth that much, do you? Then allow me to let you join it.
I think I learned a lot by meeting Herlock, from seeing him in my dreams. Up till now, I was stuck in my own little world trying to play the tough guy. Dad?
It looks like Herlock has kept his promise to me.
Dad, look! You've...
Oh, there's nothing I can do about it. You're in an interval between time and space. It divides life and death. This moment occurs when the spin has flipped, creating a world within the imaginary axis of a complex plane. The spirits of Nu are longing to take over bodies so they can return to the universe. They're flocking towards the Earth now.
Where's the Arcadia? I have to get back to the ship.
The ship headed to where it needed to go, just like you and I ended up here. Son, your feelings of remorse and my hope for your future resonated and pulled the two of us together.
Please tell me the truth. Are you really my dad?
Who I am is who I was the moment I died.
foolish you are. Not only to fight against us, but to end up here as well.
To be more specific, the moment I moved from life to death, the quantum vibrations that occur in my brain's capillaries took root in this world. In other words, part of my soul will forever dwell within the flip side of the universe.
That's the alternate dimension where Nu is sealed away, right?
That's right. It created all images of evil that's in our spirits, and the force responsible for all that evil is Nu. That spiral there is its true form.
Spiral?
The chaos that reigned during the time of primitive space still exists within that spiral shape. And what that is fear itself. Tadashi, have you ever wondered why the sea of stars in the galaxy is shaped like a spiral?
No.
It's the curse of Nu.
Hey, you.
I'm looking for someone.
What a surprise. I'll tell you right now that anyone in this world who doesn't have a soul stays put. Do you think that the one you're looking for has a soul?
This man has a soul that is more passionate than anyone's.
The one who owns the ship isn't here.
Where did he go?
I will give you the information that you want. But first you must listen to my story. I was once a pirate who spent his days pillaging space with his comrades. I was in a position to crush this useless world. But there was no higher purpose or greater hope behind any of our actions. And in the end, we were just a bunch of cowards who had banded together. The only time we were happy was when we were inflicting pain on someone else. And now all I do is regret every day of it. My life is over now, and I never did anything with it. I never had a dream or a hope that I shared with a single living creature. You are now the second person who has listened to my story, and I want to thank you. The one who owns the ship was the first. This is where he landed, and after listening to my story, he headed off on his own. I believe you can find him at the shed that lies just up ahead.
That's enough. Be gone.
Herlock!
We are the ones who have control of this world. Do you realize how foolish you are?
Sorry about that. I was one vacuum tube short. Took forever to find another one. Hey.
Tochiro.
Well, so far so good. In just a few minutes, the chain reaction will force quantum light to spread all across the Earth. And that should hold those guys off for a little bit. Of course, I have no idea how many hours this kind of output is gonna last. So you made it, huh? Now don't get stuck here, Herlock.
Oh no. They've gone too far. They're out of range of the tracking system.
Well, what's going to happen to the Arcadia? The captain planned this from the very beginning.
Huh?
He knew that if we were to take the serial density cannon at this stage, nothing at all would be gained from it.
You mean the captain did this on purpose?
He intentionally cornered that ship so it would have to fire its serial density cannon and thereby allow him entrance into the alternate dimension.
Dad, tell me what happened after you got out of Yadar.
The spirits that took over the bodies of Professor Hiltz and the others, surprisingly enough, didn't kill me. Instead, they wanted to make a deal with me. They were willing to give me the stone tablet, but in return I had to decipher the principles that had been used to seal them away. I turned the offer down. I didn't want to do research on anything that would eventually betray the welfare of mankind. I had declined their offer, but I was still unable to get that tablet out of my head. Asking a scientist to just ignore a wealth of knowledge that had been laid before him is like asking him to quit breathing the very air that gives him life. It appeared before me again. It was like it could see my inner desires. This time, I followed the heart of a scientist. I did it to pursue what I believe in as a man and a scientist. But, in reality, it was just temptation, the desire to know the basic principles of the universe.
But if you hadn't done it, you'd never have found out about Nu.
What am I doing, going on about something like this? I'm sure there must be other things to talk about, but whenever that situation arises, I'm suddenly at a loss for words. I guess I'm just a bad father.
That isn't true at all. You said earlier that it seems Herlock had kept his promise. What was the promise about?
It was regarding you.
Me?
I made him promise me that after I died, he would turn you into a man. That is, if you could become one. And if you couldn't become one, if Herlock didn't think you had what it takes, I asked him to please kill you. But now that we have talked, and I see that you have become much stronger than you were before, I admit that I am relieved. Herlock has my utmost gratitude for that. Tadashi, there's one more thing that I feel I must tell you. This is regarding another promise that I made with Herlock.
You know you're a little reckless sometimes, Herlock. What would you have done if you weren't able to find me here?
If all souls indeed end up in this place, then of course I would find you here.
Now we got us a serial density cannon, Oyama style.
Is that thing really it?
I was able to use this facility to make the quantum light generator, but I can't make anything really huge here. But there is still a way. I'm gonna have the whole world chip in and lend a hand. Okay, back to the shed. She's probably somewhat relieved. It happened on the same day that I found the shed, after I'd been wandering around this place for so long. Suddenly, the Earth entered into our world. I heard the sound of this girl's ocarina, and followed it all the way here. Anyone who's thrown into this realm with a serial density cannon creates instability within the imaginary condition created by the spin, and therefore can return the spin to its original direction.
So by blasting this little guy into the ceiling of this world, we'll create a kind of chain reaction. Hey, if I understand things correctly, you guys couldn't figure out a way to return the Earth to its proper place in the universe, right? Well, rest assured, everything's gonna end up where it belongs. You know, I'd really love to break out some booze and talk all night with you, but it doesn't look like we're gonna have time for that.
I know that someday that time will come.
Actually, it's better for such a day to never come. And that's what I'll hope for.
Well, I guess the time has come.
Not yet. There's more that I
want you to know that I'm very proud of who you've become.
Dad, wait!
The time for our revival is finally upon us!
The Earth is back! The captain has done it! Captain! Captain!
I told you to leave the ship.
So it was you. You killed my father.
I believe this belongs to you.
But why? I already know why. It's because you made that promise to my dad.
It was right around here that I found the professor drifting in space. While aboard my ship, he pleaded with me to kill him if there came a time in which he betrayed mankind. And on the day that the professor contacted me, the time had come, and I needed to fulfill that promise. I made a promise to you as well. I swore that I would let you avenge